Damn. Welcome to Kicking It with the Brothers. We are here in the quarterfinals of the World Cup 2022. It's your boy Emil, joined by our guy Deion, our guy Charles. Fellas, let's kick it off. We're jumping right into it. Croatia, Brazil. What do you call it?
We can skip this one. Brazil.
Nothing? Modric, Perisic?
Okay, no, I got something. Richarlison's been the best player in the World Cup, and Conte needs to find a way. He has to find a way to get that man in the starting 11.
Do you disagree with that, Charles? That's a take. Richarlison has been the best player in the world. He's given us some of the best highlights.
Listen, if he's not one, he's 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's it's Tyson Gay. It's the difference between Usain Bolt and Tyson Gay. But
listen, if you let Tyson do steroids,
fair.
Okay.
I'm going to go Mbappe as the best. He's leading the goal, and he's been dominant.
Speed merchant.
Limited touches, but maximum output. So
Speed merchant, overrated. He's not even best player in France.
He's the third best player on PSG by my estimation.
Griezmann's been better than Mbappe this World Cup.
And Griezmann to me is the most important person on France. Yeah. But that's we can get to that.
We'll get to there. But honestly,
Mbappe is a speed merchant. So.
Croatia can't give Brazil a game. They're gonna.
What's our definition of game?
Is it a 0-0 or is it? Or let me ask you this: is it a tie in the 60 minutes? At halftime? No, at halftime. At halftime.
Oh no.
Is it tied at halftime?
They might be tied with Neymar.
Really? Nope.
What is Croatia going to do?
I mean, if they play it tight, Brazil just has trouble with.
These Brazilians grew up in favelas playing soccer barefoot. The way they handle tight spaces, you cannot do that shit with fucking cleats on, living in the burbs and shit. All right? Like, mommy and daddy didn't own a gas station in Croatia. These dudes grew up in favelas. This one's getting ugly.
Okay. Predictions.
What'd they win last time? Like 5-1, 6-1?
4-1.
4-1? I'm gonna say 3-0, but it's gonna feel a lot worse than that.
Jeez. Charles, is it over for your boy? It's time for him to go back to North London?
I mean, yeah, they're definitely gonna lose, but I definitely think it's gonna be a more admirable defeat. I think they can get to halftime 0-0.
Hell no, I forgot that bitch ass motherfucker Perisic on this team too. Richarlison is going to do it for the
best Croatian in the tournament, but he's been their best player. But it's fine. I know you don't actually watch the games, Deion. It's fine.
We all sick of him. Richarlison isn't going to do it for us.
I mean, he's wiping out Tottenham players one by one, so I'm not really against that. It's gonna be some tension when he gets back to the fucking when they get back to North London. But I think they can. I just think I haven't seen. I have to see Brazil do that to a European side before I can really. I just think that's a different level. Every time they run it, they've lost the last 3 World Cups. The first European team they've come up against.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Fair.
Quarters against Belgium.
I think they can get muddy it up a little. I just think Croatia can muddy up the game enough to where, they got and as we saw earlier in the group stage, Croatia can score a goal or two, and you know what I'm saying, it's not like they're inept. They do have Modric can still pull one out of his ass. They did something, and thank God. I think if he'd have played the whole 120 the other day, I might have felt different, but they did pull him off a little bit sooner. So I think they can make it to halftime 0-0. So I think I say 2-1 Brazil.
Okay.
They'll be up 2-0, and Croatia get an 83rd minute goal.
Don't you think the difference between this Brazil team and the ones that lost to European teams in the past is Richarlison though? He's so dynamic at the top.
Yes and no. I remember shitty Everton Richarlison, so I can't. I'm a little scarred.
Shitty Tottenham Richarlison.
That's what I'm saying. So
where the fuck is this been?
And I could also see like I said, that shit was so easy to them the other day that that first 45 minutes almost being a shock of oh shit, we gotta play soccer again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just kind of that, and then them first off, side note on Brazil, Casemiro looks like he's having the least amount of fun of any Brazilian by far. That nigga, everybody else is happy, dancing, and like it's just his facial expression. I'm sure he seems like a good dude, but his facial expression during all of that shit is just like, all right, guys, back to it, back fucking to it.
Problem.
That may be the issue after they score goals, but he is playing rather well, though.
No, he's playing well. I'm talking about his face with everybody else is like just Brazilian and now, and he's just like.
Is anyone he's like the dude besides Martinelli and Jesus really like playing bad? You know what I mean? Like the rest of them.
Yeah.
What? Ridiculous random stray. Carry on, please.
Yeah, Casemiro is definitely the designated driver
everyone
of
on
that team.
Team's playing well. Like no one's playing.
Yeah. But Cass is definitely the designated driver on their team.
Oh, yeah.
I love their togetherness for sure, and I think that's what's going to help them in the next round, pending how things go, because they're just used to each other. But then there's also like, you know what? If the rivals are going to play each other, if it is going to be Argentina, which we're going to segue into right now, all bets are off. Just forget what's going on.
Neymar.
I don't think you can bet on team familiarity though, and like the bond. I feel like everybody's bonded like that. Like these like we're the Croatians have been together. Modric and Perisic and those guys have been together. Without they ain't got Mandzukic with them anymore, but like those dudes have been together for 12, 13 years themselves. So
sure,
at this point, every team's pretty united and guys that have grown up together and been together for a long time. So
this is success for Croatia, though, right? In quarterfinals, I think it's fine.
Didn't they make the final last time?
Yeah, but there was a lot of shit that had to happen for them to make the finals. Like
I'm gonna say no. Then
you're gonna
Croatia's
listen.
The fact that Croatia's. Go ahead.
They got a bad draw. So if you're gonna like rule it a success, like on the hypothetical that they would have beat 5 to 6 of the quarterfinal teams and they just ran into the one, maybe. But I don't see how you can go from a final to a quarterfinal and be like, yeah, this was fun.
I think they could beat Netherlands.
I mean, I'd hope so.
Portugal.
Any European side could be the European side.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Okay, I'm going to hold you to that because we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Okay, all right. Well,
Neymar's the best player in the world, by the way. And it's really not that close.
Oh, my God. He just brings a different level to them. What did I tell you? Let me tell you this right now. Listen, oh, my God, I can't wait to the semifinals, dog.
Messi's playing phenomenal, too. I was going to say the two best players of the World Cup so far to me have been Messi and Richarlison. And low-key, I hate Perisic, but he's got to be top 5. I mean, he's playing really good.
And the 19-year-old, the teenagers out there killing.
Jude?
Yeah, Jude's been phenomenal.
I don't think so.
Jude disappeared from a couple games.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jude had a phenomenal game in the round of 16. Like, he flipped a switch.
Yes.
Jude is absolutely one of the best players of the World Cup. But Jude that showed up in the group stage was kind of just like, I want to get through these
After the first game? Where was Jude at against USA?
But there was
be out there against U.S. or Wales, for that matter.
I thought that they helped turn the game in all 3 of their wins. USA, I think they had a game plan against to just kind of boss up the midfield. But,
I just don't think Jude cared about that game. Which is fine. Like, they got through and then they dominated the round of 16. But the Jude that showed up in the round of 16 is not the Jude that showed up against the U.S. So
Speaking of teams that cared about beating the U.S., and it showed, the Netherlands versus Argentina. That'll be when you guys see this, it'll be Friday at 2:00 Eastern in the States. I like the Netherlands a lot, actually, I'll say, but I don't know if they can win. But another team, I like their togetherness. They know what they are. And I'll say this, they can score with Argentina, and Argentina in the back, a little shaky. Let me just put that out there. A little shaky. I see. What else you like about the Netherlands? They're very well balanced. Pause. They all right.
Listen, man.
Give Argentina some trouble.
Listen, man. Berhalter was out there talking about like we ain't got nobody like Memphis Depay. Come on, fam.
I'm not here for the Memphis slander.
Deion. Did you?
Fuck out of here.
We're gonna talk about we rolled out Haji Wright, dog.
I don't care. With all due respect to Memphis Depay, like if you offered 500 G's to Barcelona in January, they'd be like, "Thank you, sir. See you never."
He was also Barca's leading scorer last year. I can't, like I said,
Ronaldo was Man U's leading scorer.
I think we
only reason they made Europe.
Yep, I think we gloss over what Memphis did. What was that 3 years ago when he took Lyon to the semifinals of the Champions League?
Nasty work. Yeah,
like I'm just saying,
lost
like,
to
we can't.
Bayern. Mm-hmm.
Like I think like the. Do you think like I think he's better than Lukaku.
Yeah, but
like,
Lukaku's terrible though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying like Memphis doesn't miss chances. Like if you give Memphis a chance, he's gonna finish that shit. He's just like his work rate and these other things ain't great. But like, you know, back to the net and like actual like I don't remember him missing a lot of chances. Like oh shit, like that's if people think Lukaku's up there, I think Memphis is at least a step ahead of him. And given the fact that there's maybe 8 good strikers in the whole world, it's just hard for me to sit here and act like he's not one of them.
All right, here we go.
I mean, he's not.
Exercise for you. Who are the top 5 players in this game? Top 5 players. No. Both sides. Top 5 players.
That's what I'm saying in that game. Messi, Virgil, Frankie.
You better not disrespect my guy at the top of Argentina.
Julian Alvarez if he starts. And I would go Dumfries.
Dumfries is nice. I like him a lot. Do you know who you didn't mention? Who actually I think is just as good as Alvarez right now?
Who?
Cody Gakpo.
I was going to.
Yeah, he's playing
he'd been my 6th.
on form. Fellas, that's 4 best players. All it takes is special moments in quarterfinals. 4 of the 6 best players we just mentioned are from Holland.
I just think with that back line, they're like I think with that back line they have, they can like they got a chance against anybody because they're not running out Otamendi at the back. Like
I can't believe I picked Argentina. That's because I just thought they would be playing the U.S. and I just thought it'd be like a 3-0 and they would be holding back. You have the Netherlands. Did you say they're at plus 125, Deion?
No, Argentina is. Netherlands is like plus 300 something.
Kind of like it. Kind of. What is it to advance?
I wouldn't be surprised.
What is it to advance? What if it was to go to pins? What is it? Okay.
It will. I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Argentina handles this one pretty easy, and that's no disrespect to Netherlands. Like they've had a good run, and they dominated a really bad U.S. team. Just a bad U.S. team in the round of 16 to get through. But I think the fun and games are over for them. But I like Cody Gakpo a lot. I really do. They definitely have.
He's nice.
Which is part of my other issue with the U.S. team. I know we're going to get into that, but everyone's like, "Oh, our team's so young. Our team's so young." Listen, every country has fucking 20-year-olds, man. There's not a fucking country that doesn't have talent.
I hate that shit. That whole Musa argument we had the other day. He's only 20. So is Jude. So is everybody else's young players, dude. Like everybody has young players.
The only difference is these other countries have good enough mid to like older, like mid 20s, high 20s players to where their 20-year-old isn't playing. Like that's the difference. But they have a 20-year-old that's just as good as Musa somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the biggest lie I've heard during the World Cup is Yusuf Musa chose the U.S. over England. That motherfucker wouldn't have seen the English squad.
Well, they're getting ready to do it. I do want to preface, Balogun, I think is actually really good. So, like, I do want to preface before I slander him. They're getting ready to pull the same stunt when he commits to the U.S. here in a few weeks. Like, he's very good, but he ain't touching the pitch for England anytime soon. I mean, anytime soon. So, of course, he's going to choose the U.S.
The biggest what if for me of this whole tournament, it's not the biggest, but up there is if Jamal had chose England.
Musiala?
Yeah.
Really? Well, yeah. I mean, they'd be the favorites. I mean, they're the number 2 team in the world, but they'd be the favorites for sure. I think they beat Brazil.
Yeah, he's different. Jamal is different.
I still think England can beat Brazil, but
I don't.
I don't know. I think England has the best chance to beat Brazil out of anyone in the tournament.
I agree with that. I think France would be in a little bit of trouble, personally.
All right, bro. France is. Are we going to get into them? They're frauds. And Mbappe is a speed merchant. Charles likes them because they have the same hairline, but Mbappe is a speed merchant.
Give me the Netherlands. Give me a Netherlands Argentina score, Deion. Give me a Netherlands Argentina score.
I think this is the 2-1 game. I think Argentina scores 1, and then they back off. And then I think Netherlands ties it, but Netherlands is going to have to go all out to tie it. That I think Argentina scores again within like 5 minutes of them scoring.
Charles,
I think we're going to extra time. 1-1 going in extra time. I don't know what happens from there, but I'm not gonna bet against Messi, DePaul, and them boys.
Christian Romero's very good too. We didn't mention him in the top.
Solid. Solid.
Yeah,
He's very good.
Solid.
We won't be giving none of. We got to give all our Tottenham boys some love because they have been representing the club very well during the tournament.
Conte better figure it out when they get back, because boy, the Perisic that's out here, he don't show up. This Richarlison don't show up. The only person that's playing like he do for the club is that fucking like 5-foot merchant Harry Kane, who I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Him or Sonny got to go.
Well, you know my
As in,
one of them got to go. Like
to the bench, or we're selling?
Or gone. One of them got to go. Either
man,
the bench or you got to go, bro. Because Kulusevski,
I told you my Tottenham fanhood is directly tied to Sonny. So if Sonny leaves the team, I'm debating.
So if y'all are out, we'll have to hold you to that after the quarterfinals of Champions League, because I think they're going to win round of 16.
If you went with 2 up top and it was Sonny and Richarlison, I think that's so fucking electric.
Charleston looked nice.
I just think Harry Kane's a midfielder at this point. He's a 10. He's not a striker.
No,
I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, go ahead, D.
I was gonna say he does a great job controlling the game for England, the same way he does for Tottenham. Like you throw it up to him and he gets your wingers involved and he holds onto the ball phenomenally if you're playing possession. But like, there's an added element with Richarlison that Tottenham's clearly missing that he provides. And I don't know what the answer is. Maybe you can find a way to play all 4 of them boys up there, but
like you did against Chelsea in the last 20 minutes of that match.
I keep saying they need to drop, and all teams need to drop Harry Kane back deeper and put a striker in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
The last 20 minutes against at the Bridge. The last 20 minutes at the Bridge. That was the most I've ever seen Tottenham go forward. And eventually they got Harry's the header in the corner to equalize, and honestly led to the Tuchel getting the boot. If we're keeping it a buck,
I think that's the thing that's the thing I've been telling you guys in the group chat. That's to me that's the thing that's gonna hold England back from winning this.
Yeah,
is not dropping Harry deeper and putting Rashford in front of him.
I just don't understand. And I mean, I'm sure like England fans are probably saying the same thing about Rashford, but like I would actually lose my mind if Richarlison's on the bench come Boxing Day. Like I just don't see. I don't see how you can watch this World Cup and be like, yo, this guy needs to sit on the bench for 60 minutes of a game.
Yeah, feel that, all that. Morocco, Portugal. Oh, excuse me. I am going to go extra time, and I think the Netherlands win it in extra time. The Netherlands are going to win tomorrow.
PKs?
No, 2-1 in extra time.
They're going to score.
Deion with the header in the 118th.
Yeah, I think that Argentina will have one slip up. I could see that easily happening, a slip up in extra time.
Maybe.
I mean, the Netherlands have been tough. And
I was just saying, I feel like if they're going to have a slip up, it's before extra time. Like, I feel like the extra time games we've seen, like the better team kind of just sits on the ball for 30 minutes. Like, I don't know how Netherlands gets the ball necessarily.
That's a good point. And so, but I think it's because of the quality of the teams, because Spain's not natural in terms of, let's go, because part of it is they don't have a true natural goal scorer for Spain. And so therefore, Morocco thought they were maybe just as, but you also said this in our group chat. It's personal for them dudes. And so they were super comfortable. Like, let's get to a point. Like, listen, like they're really not that better than us. And in fact, we could be playing for them, but they was on their, cultural commitments to others that don't look like them, if you will.
I think there's a whole lot of like migration reasons that they don't play for Spain.
That too. In 100 more ways than one.
There's a whole lot of like colonization, slavery.
Yeah. I mean, honest, that's real.
Play for Spain, if we're being completely honest.
So, and they took that stuff personal. And also another thing, they got a whole continent, if you're being honest, a whole culture in terms of religion that are behind them. If I've listened to some of the pods, and it's really kind of cool. Like, they are really owning the fact that like we are in an Islamic nation and we're representing and they truly believe they could be destined. So, speaking of which, I don't like anything about Portugal right now outside of what I saw the other day, though.
I was about to say, are you crazy?
I listen. If they sit Ronaldo again,
I think they will.
Got to.
They're winning. And he's nice. That brother nice though. Benfica's a problem. I can't wait till we get to talk about that in Champions League in a couple months. Benfica's a problem.
He will be on Benfica in a couple months for us to talk about. So
I think they gotta have to, just because you got to make sure you get to the Champions League. There's money involved. I think they'll sell him in the summer though. But I think January when I don't see him going. But that brother's nice. Portugal looked fine in the back, attacking more so. Young João Felix looked impressive. Nice to see him.
He's so bad.
He looked so much better though. He looks so much better.
Overrated player in the world. He's the most overrated player in the world.
He's 20 what? Charles? 2?
No,
he's the second highest player of all time.
He's 22, right?
He's the second most expensive player of all time.
I'm not talking about what they're paying him. That's Atletico.
That does matter.
Sure.
He's overrated.
Okay, that's Simeone and making a mistake. But if he goes somewhere else, listen, I think there's still time with him. A lot of time, in fact. But part of it also, Fernandez, nasty. The chances they create is phenomenal. They're fun to watch. Portugal's been one of my most fun watches in this World Cup by far. And I like their coach. I think their coach, and also another thing with them is Charles, you made the reference about all NBA. He's like, it comes with some hardware. He's bringing some hardware. These dudes have won they have won a trophy, and in fact, there's a lot of European teams that will tell you that it's harder to win the Euros than it is to win a World Cup. So Portugal's ready. Yeah. This game I actually think is the most even game, though, if you will, just because if you're thinking about what Morocco's representing and what Portugal, in terms of the talent they have. Deion, who has the advantage in this game?
So I think Portugal has the talent advantage. Obviously, I don't really know how you could say they don't. But I will say this. So when I bet Spain to beat Morocco, and obviously I took the L on that one, what I didn't factor in, and this is the American in me, how much these games mean to these people. When you go up against a country that colonized your parents essentially, and you kind of saw Hakimi. When I saw Hakimi run to his mom, I had the realization this shit is it's like if San Francisco played Oakland, or the Bay played LA, or a couple boroughs in New York went against each other, right? That's how personal it is for them, and we don't really have anything in America that really matches that on a sports level. Even our rivalries, when the two LA teams play each other, no one on those teams are actually from LA to give a fuck. You know what I mean? So it's I just didn't really think about that. I mean, I think Portugal has the talent advantage, but I don't think it really fucking matters, bro. These Moroccans are going to come out here pissed.
Charles, go ahead. What do you think?
I think they blew their load against Spain.
Yeah,
there's a lot taxing. Maybe the legs are better.
I think that might have been their Super Bowl. It was such to reiterate everything Deion said. I just think they did that, but that was such an emotional high that I think they could be. I keep saying this first 45. I think they could be down 2-0 before they really realize they're in a soccer game.
Oh, fair. Okay. Yeah, similar to Swiss, because that's what it looked like to them. They were like, "Oh, we're here. Okay, we're already down." Go ahead, D.
Now, Ronaldo plays. Does that change anything?
I don't think he should start. But if you're bringing him on in the 65th,
oh yeah. But if he starts,
he's not starting. That dude scored a hat trick. He's not fucking starting.
We're not even going to entertain that possibility.
Yes, no, there's not enough.
Is Cancelo getting back in the 11 now? Because I feel like Cancelo got benched just as a charade, kind of we're benching more than one star.
Oof.
I mean, they're not. Winning,
he has to play.
They're not winning anything. He's their to me. Besides Bruno, he's their best player.
That's why I was confused. The Ronaldo benching made sense, but benching him, I feel was just that way Portuguese media doesn't really push too much on you. You bench more than one star.
Yeah,
it was kind of a prop. He's I know we can win this game without both of them. I'm gonna bench both, and then I'll bring him back the next game, and no one will really notice, type of thing.
I mean, there are a lot of teams that I'm just so you're gonna run out Otamendi, you're going to run out Pepe. I'm not sure how, at a certain point, I feel like you're playing with fire running out. Middle-aged men can't really run.
Well,
And Morocco's nothing but fast people.
I just feel like Morocco's gonna pack it in. You know what I mean? Like I don't think they're really gonna try.
Like I said, I just think they're going to be in the same thing same thing I kind of was saying about Brazil. I just don't think they're going to realize. Like I think they might get hit before they even realize like what's happening to them. Like I was rewatching that Portuguese game last night. The Swiss were having like a decent run of play, and a goal came out of nowhere. That first one,
Yeah.
And I think that's what's kind of going to happen in Morocco. I think that first goal might come in. If it doesn't come in the first, it's gonna come, and I think they're gonna they're gonna get punched in the mouth, and before they kind of realize, oh shit, like this ain't Spain. They're not trying to control the ball. They're actually trying to score on us. Like it's just like before they realize it's a completely different game. You know what I'm saying? I just think they're going to be the same thing that happened to Swiss.
I wish we would talk more about Spain because I hate the logic that like some of these Spanish players are using about like, oh, we possessed the ball. They didn't try. They just tried to counter once. It's like, just because you were dribbling in the back, like you weren't really trying to do anything either.
That's real. Hakimi, where would he rank on the Portugal side?
He's the best player on the pitch.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Bernardo Silva, maybe. Those two. It's one of those two to me.
Hakimi's great.
I'll put Cancelo up there in that mix.
Well, I don't even know if he's playing.
That's the issue.
I would love to put him
exactly.
up there. I would love to. But Hakimi's right there, though. Hakimi's
for sure.
Yeah. I love it.
Still ain't winning the fucking Champions League.
Regardless of this match, I think Hakimi needs to be in the best 11 when they release that on the World Cup.
He could be right behind Richarlison and like 7 other Tottenham players.
Official prediction, Deion?
I think this one goes to extra time. I like Portugal in the penalty kicks just because Morocco just did one, and you have a little tape on like what they like to do, kind of.
Okay, Charles.
2-0 the Portuguese.
I like 2-1, and then a standing ovation for 2-1 Portugal, and then a standing ovation for Morocco as they go off. All right, I think it's very fair to say.
Ovation from who? It ain't gonna be no Portuguese.
The culture.
No, just culture. I mean, just everybody.
From who? That stadium is gonna be filled with Portugal. Like everyone's gonna be Portuguese in there, and you think they're gonna give a standing ovation to an African nation?
I think it's going to be a lot of supporters from Morocco in there. I think the Spanish game, the game against the Spain. Yes, of course. Yeah, it matters for sure.
I'm just saying, there's 50,000 Argentines in Qatar right now. Like there's a big contingent.
Yeah, they are not playing, and the Brazilians are crazy too. Like that match is going to be crazy.
Ain't gonna be no standing ovation. It's more likely that the Portuguese scream some racist shit at Hakimi than it is they give him a standing ovation.
The match of the weekend.
I'm going to keep my racial slur to myself.
The match of the weekend, speaking of colonizers, England versus France.
Which one?
Both. That's what I said. Plural. Speaking of colonizers, I just see Wakanda, so I ain't gonna lie. Oh no! Never mind. Never mind. Let's move on from there. I almost set up Deion. Let's move on. Let's move on. Good. I didn't want to say what I said. England versus France, 2:00 on a Sunday. Or Saturday. Excuse me. I will not be turning to the Army-Navy game at all. I will be watching this match.
Yeah. Standing over. I'm so proud.
A jokes.
I'm
trying to go to that one year. I'm trying to attend.
I set up the jokes there, but England, France.
You know how much you like the anthem, so I know you'll be tuned in.
Come on. Speaking of which, this is your time, Deion. Talk to us about Kylian Mbappe. Some would say that he's been the best player of the tournament. 5 goals.
Yuck. Speed merchant. He just be out there. Like he doesn't really do much. I give him credit for his genetics. I'm sure his parents were extremely fast also. But I don't like players that only impact I'm going to say he impacts like a third of the game, and that might even be giving him too much credit. You know what I mean? Griezmann's also a striker, but he impacts damn near 60 to 70% of the field. Same with Harry Kane. And I just think this guy's a speed merchant. But in this generation of football, he's a very, very productive player. He's still a very, very good player, one of the best in the world, but speed merchant.
Yes. I wondered out loud, is Mbappe actually good at soccer the other day?
Bruh, what?
No, I'm saying like he's a goal scorer.
No, I understand. Like, is he a footballer? Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Is he Giannis or like it's like the Giannis argument? Is he like he don't know how to play? Like, does he know how to play basketball, or is he just 7 foot and running over everybody?
Yeah. Like Harry Kane's talented. He doesn't have the physical gifts Kylian Mbappe has, but everything else, he's better at literally everything else. I don't think there's anything Mbappe is better at than Harry Kane other than being fast.
I would say that skill level, yeah. Like pure act skill. He's not nearly as skilled as.
Hard to argue with that.
I'm trust me. I guarantee you when they have practice, they have like competitions at practice with him and Neymar and Messi. He finishes last in the three of them every time.
Completely cooked. He might as well be the three of us out there. That's the same level of talent disparity.
I do want to give my boy, as Deion mentioned, my boy Greasy some love.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think he's the best defensive offensive player in the world. The man's work rate is incredible. Like as much as I can't like
for an attacker. That's
what I'm saying. As an attacking player, he's the best defender of all like any attacking player in the world. Like that man gets like track. Like that's why I could never be mad at him at Barca because he was playing hard as shit. And he and our defense was horrible those years he was at Barca, but he saved a lot of goals. Like that man's work rate is unmatched by a lot of people. Like I will say Perisic's work rate this World Cup has been right up there with Griezmann's, but
he's been getting a ton of cardio in.
Them boys be up and down. Like and like a lot of what Griezmann does allows Mbappe to just stand at the touchline.
That's what I was going to say. You're never going to see Mbappe go get the ball in the midfield and spring somebody on the wing open the way Griezmann does. Even Giroud, who I think's fucking trash. But even him, like Mbappe is the one getting sprung open based off what these other guys are doing. And I will say, like X told me this yesterday on our pod, Mbappe has a ton of gravity because of how fast he is. Sure. Cool. But these dudes have a ton of gravity because they're fucking good at the sport.
Yes. Yes. No doubt about that.
He's really good though. Like I'm not trying to disrespect him, but like he's one of the best players in the world. I still believe that, but I do think he's a product of generation when I say that. Like I think if you put him, he's not a guy that can play in any generation. Griezmann can play any fucking time.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Like I've kind of arrived at the point that like I think Haaland's a little bit better than Mbappe just because I feel like Haaland is actually better at football.
Oh, I don't even think that's a question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like just because he's better at the between the box work. The between the box work is to me is the difference in a lot of football.
Yeah, that's cool.
If you swap Richarlison and Mbappe, I think we're having a completely different discussion about Brazil and a much more positive discussion about France.
Wow. Okay. That's a take, and it may not be a wrong one by any stretch of the means. Who do you trust back there right now for France in the back? Fully.
None of them. This team scares me. This team scares me in no way. Other than what Griezmann does, and then like the potential possibility of a through ball hitting Mbappe, this team scares me in no way.
That midfield is suspect as shit.
Jude's gonna have a field day.
Yes,
midfield is suspect.
I'll just put this out there right now, and this is what kind of worries me about Real because I think they need a couple years under the system. Camavinga, like none of them dudes, like they're not ready. Chouameni, they're not ready. They're not ready. No. For sure. But look at Jude, and then look at them. Jude translates well both to club and for national team, and France is going to need that midfield. I mean, Mbappe ain't gonna get nothing, and if England just kind of takes care of their business, and actually, this is why I didn't mind the Henderson situation because at least he brings stability. England doesn't need him to score. We just need him to be better than Mason Mount, is probably what Gareth Southgate is saying.
Well, he's much better defensively, too. Like, I don't think England needs to do anything attacking-wise. Like, I think if you're able to survive, like, a million through balls going to Mbappe and he doesn't score once off his speed merchant attitude, then you're going to score on France. Like, so I don't think they really need to, like, have more offense out there. Henderson provides something that the other ones don't. And it frees up Jude to kind of just control that midfield.
The only thing that France has that I do like to that speed merchant thing is they do have Dembele on the other side who's just as fast, and that gives them such width that it's kind of crazy. And I mean they're still running out Harry Maguire at the back, so I mean it's not
I think
who's different. No,
but he also would just fall down, and I wouldn't be surprised.
I think Harry's gonna have Giroud in hell though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bro. And I think because Giroud, like. From a name perspective, he's the smallest name of Griezmann, Dembele, and Mbappe, right? So I feel like people don't really realize, like, he might be, outside of Griezmann, he might be the second most important person out of that 4-person, like, group we just named.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in fucking hell.
Yeah.
Deschamps loves him, but those headers, they'll just mark him.
Left side.
He most likely, but I mean, honestly, he was fantastic if you talk about the Euro final, though. I mean, Luke Shaw was great in the Euro final.
That was 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
I'm just telling you, I'm giving you an example of like when he plays to that quality, when he's playing against that type of quality players. Like he was fantastic. You know how technical Italy was in the Euros.
Yeah. All I'm saying is he's going to be out there or not. Because of the way that they're going to have, the way the teams have to shade towards Mbappe, it leaves Dembele over there on the island of people.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I don't think England has to. I think Kyle Walker can put Mbappe in his pocket. If there was anybody in the world...
I can't wait to see that race. I cannot see them.
Oh, my gosh. It's going to be phenomenal.
If there was anybody in the world that can keep up with Mbappe, it's Kyle Walker. Like, I'm not saying it works, but, like, England has, like, the one thing no other team has with that.
Yeah, somebody could keep up with him.
They brought Kyle Walker just for this game.
It was literally just for this.
On my bracket, I had Walker. I had England advancing. I still do. I'll make the comparison here. I was foolish enough last year to talk about like, all right, I seen enough because I just didn't believe in Stetson Bennett. I'm like, you know what? Just think Michigan's going to beat Georgia. I just think we're better everywhere. The complete opposite of this, of like how France is like, they're the ones who have the hardware. They're used to this, etc. Literally the talent that England is bringing, the only thing I'm concerned about is Southgate. Southgate is not as good as Didier Deschamps. He's not as good as Didier Deschamps. Really? You're worried about him?
If Harry Kane shows up, I don't think there's anybody in the world England can't beat if Harry Kane shows up. But, like, I don't think Harry Kane's the guy he was a year or two ago.
I think if Griezmann's the best player on the pitch, I feel the same way about France. It's like if Griezmann's the best, like if Griezmann comes to play, like France are like at a different level. Because I think you could take Mbappe off the. If you took Mbappe off the field, but Griezmann was on his shit, like they're still France team.
I think Jude will be the best player on the pitch no matter what. I just think Harry Kane's like the supplementary piece that like connects Jude.
The problem is like the French midfield is like so weak right now. Like I'm not banking on Rabiot to do a damn thing, but like that's why Griezmann's so important because he's the one that links the two sides.
I love Foden a lot here. I think he can.
Ronnie?
I like
Ronnie.
Listen, Phil Foden. I think he's going to get a goal. Actually, I love him for any time scorer this match. I definitely think he can get up, or especially if Southgate lets him play and work, and they're able to work that side for sure. He's very, very good at going from to the right inside. Very good at it.
Been running in the center. Koundé.
Koundé's been playing right back.
Right back.
2 Chainz has been playing right back.
Is it Varane?
Yeah, Varane and Konate, right?
Yeah,
that's a pretty good back line.
Not bad.
Konate a lot,
but they can be had. All right, predictions. Deion, you first.
I mean, I think England advances. I don't know how, but I think they do. It's just, and if they don't, I don't know. This France team just doesn't scare me in the slightest, bro. Like I think Brazil plays with their food against France.
Yeah, that wouldn't even be a matchup. That's what kind of I would love to see England versus Brazil in the final.
I mean, whoever wins this one is in the final to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Say so.
Oh yeah. I mean, it took heaven and earth and like the craziest thing that happened for Portugal to beat France in that Euro final. Or else we're talking about France going on some crazy run, Spanish type run, 2006 to 2010. But yeah, we're not there yet.
I also think this English team is getting like downplayed out here a lot just because we like the U.S. drew with them. When if you watch them against Senegal, it couldn't be more clear they just didn't really try against the U.S. They just weren't really there to play.
Yeah. Yeah, and they turned up in the midfield. And also Southgate didn't have the tactics right. You got to if there's one match that he has to get the tactics right, because it's honestly worth 2 wins, if we're being honest. It's worth 2 wins. You get yourself to another final, because if you win this match, you're going to win the next match for sure. It's worth 2 wins. Actually, Charles, you go at your prediction. There's one more battle I'm worried about. I'm going to ask you about in a second.
I mean, it's just hard for me to like bank on that many Manchester United players playing well.
Dog.
It's just hard. Like at my core, I'm just like, I see these dudes play every week. Like,
They're different though under
hard.
But they play different when they put on the 3 lions though. They do. They do.
They don't win shit either.
It's Harry. It's Harry.
Harry's different. Maguire. Yeah.
I could see Gareth getting real cute, running some bullshit lineup out there, not putting like. I think the same way you said the guys think like England's going to find a way. I just think like all they need is 2 Mbappe chances, like 2, and they win. Like it's like they're explosive. It's something about the explosiveness of France to where, like I said, if they're running Dembele and him out there, like all I need is one off a fucking set play. One Griezmann tracks down the ball, gets it out to one of them on the wing, and they're out. And like Harry Maguire and those guys are, if the game opens up, they're going to get cut to pieces.
They match up so well with them, though, Charles.
They not in space.
Well, England's going to match up well with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, all these teams match up pretty well with everybody at this point. But I'm just saying, like, I just think if the game gets a little stretched and they're in space, like they're dead in space.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Who do y'all trust more?
Yeah, I don't think they're dead in space.
I think that's.
I think if they
would France not equally be as dead though?
Are you talking about in the back? I mean, the midfield, if it's space, it's a problem. Jude is killing.
This is how I see it. English corner, Braun heads it out.
Okay.
1-2 to those outside, and like they're fucked. Then you have, I don't care what you think about his form, you have Luke Shaw chasing Dembele 30 yards. That shit ain't gonna work well.
That's why you got the tactics right.
I don't think anyone on France can keep up with Foden and Saka though.
Koundé can. Koundé keep up with Foden.
Yeah, but like Koundé be out there and like there's like a 20-minute span where Koundé don't even know he's playing soccer.
I could say that about Harry Maguire every fucking
Sunday.
Sunday.
I mean, that's fair. But like, I don't think Harry has as much to worry about in this game as Koundé is going to have.
I think it's going to be a good match. It might be like I'm not going to like this is like one of the main ones that we've actually been split on. So I think it's going to be pretty. Like I said, like I think England's a better team, but France has nukes.
Yeah, they definitely have speed merchants. So if you told me they were going to use a cheat code to win a war. That's all Mbappe
I would
does,
say this
so
too.
I'd have to agree.
If they had big body Benz, I would with no doubt pick France.
Yeah, if they had Benzema, I would too. Honestly, though, I don't think they'd be here because Benzema probably would have like filmed one of them with a Qatarian escort or something like that. So I mean,
the Real Madrid fans can't even chuckle.
Yeah, wow. Let's move on. I guess Lloris or Pickford, who y'all trusted more?
You already know who we picking. Don't even ask the Tottenham fans.
Y'all picking Pickford, I assume.
The real captain. The real captain. There's gonna be 2 armbands worn out there. There's only one captain on that field.
Wow, love it. Okay, there you go.
Before we go, like, how many Arsenal players are left?
2.
Who?
Saka.
Okay.
Well, shit, we may have just lost somebody.
Saliba,
yeah. So one of them will be out.
He's on he was picked to the France team?
Yeah.
Does he know that?
Done. Carry on. See, all right. Since we have We're out here in the joke section.
I mean, listen, man. I have to hear. I've had to hear for 3 months about how he's the best defender in England. He can't even start on France, bro. Like, I mean,
it's wild that he doesn't. That's Didier Deschamps keeping him back.
Okay.
Guendouzi.
Boy, the humbling. I cannot wait for mid-January. The
humbling. All right, bro. Stay focused. Let's stay focused, dog. Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused, please. Appreciate everybody through the World Cup segment. And we have our quarterfinals predictions. It is now time for us to put a bow, yes, for the holiday season, on the U.S. in their World Cup in 2022. I am here with two of the biggest, they would say, truth tellers on their George R.R. Martin type stuff. Let's give I like your quote earlier, Deion. Why don't you tell it about when you talk about young? Everybody talks about the U.S. being youngest. I'll let you take it from there and start.
I have two takes that I want put on my tombstone when this team flames out in 2026. The first one is this golden generation about how we have all these dudes that are 24 and under. And I'm not even saying they're not that talented. I'm a huge Weston McKennie fan. I think he's
second that
straight up. He had Jude in hell. I know I just said Jude wasn't really trying, but still, he had Jude in hell. I think he dominated all 3 games. Musa looked all right too. I'm not the biggest Tyler Adams guy, but whatever. I think they have a legit midfield. That's it though. And every fucking team or country has 3 to 4 very good 23 sub players, right? Just because they're not playing on that team, that national team, doesn't mean they don't exist. They're not playing because this team also has much better players. Like Saliba's not playing on France. Arsenal fans would tell you he's the best defender in England. The talent disparity between the US and these other countries is still massive. Yeah. Just because they have a couple good players that are 23 hasn't really closed the gap because these other countries still do. And then my second take is round of 16 was the goal, which they accomplished. It does not matter when you lose to a team in Netherlands that I personally don't think is I'm not saying they're bad. They're good. They're a top 8 team in the world. Some would probably say top 10. When you lose in the fashion they lost, it's just so much less impressive to me. If they would have lost to Argentina in the same fashion, I could have been all right, we go home, we just lost to Messi. Same thing, you lose to Brazil, England, France, etc. They never had a shot against Netherlands. Even the whole game, I'm if the U.S. ever scores, the Netherlands will score immediately. And that's exactly what happened. The Netherlands was playing with their food from about the 25-minute mark on. And Pulisic stinks. That's the last thing I gotta say. He's fucking awful. Tim Way, I believe, is that his name? Timothy?
Tim Weah. His dad just met him for the 3rd time.
Yeah, listen, no comment on that.
The most awkward interactions. I've seen. Awkward interactions I've seen is between Tim Weah and his dad.
Did you really just Jesus Shuttlesworth Tim Weah out here, dog? What is wrong with you?
Tim Weah's met his pops the same amount of time the U.S. has met the back of the net. So, I just think this front 3 is fucking awful. The back 4, fucking awful. Matt Turner's the Arsenal backup. What are we talking about? They have a pretty good midfield though. Weston, Musa. I hope they got someone else besides Tyler Adams for 26. But if not, it can be worse. But literally, they have 3 dudes on the team, and then if you told me the other 8 were replaced, I'd feel much more confident going into 26.
You don't like Robinson?
He's okay.
I like Robinson. I thought he ran his ass off. I thought his work rate was incredible. I don't know
which kind of matters in the World Cup.
Yeah, I'm saying is, but quality, I don't know that. But to me, he played. Everybody was talking about how much Tyler Adams is running. Robinson was up and down that flank.
Yeah, he's solid. He's solid. He's not bad. But I'm not committed to Robinson either. You know what I mean? Really on this team, there's only one guy where I'd be yeah, you'll for sure be back in 26, and that's Weston.
That's one of the things that I can't stand is the whole we'll be back in 4 years, and it's but the last Yedlin is the only person that was on those previous teams, and Pulisic, they're not. We don't keep a lot of these guys together. They rotate like I would say the American team rotates more than damn near most other countries. Like some of the, you know what I'm saying, like the Spanish team that lost is essentially the Spanish team that lost last World Cup. And you know what I'm saying, like a lot of these dudes are at least coming back to where they got a level of continuity. And I just don't feel like we have that. Like there's no, like, I would almost guarantee that's not going to be the same midfield.
I don't think this group deserves 4 years of continuity either, to be completely honest. Like, I mean, like
definitely nobody up front. Nobody up front for sure.
Moosa's back, I get it. And Weston absolutely should be back. Weston should be the captain for the next 2 World Cups.
Yes.
If you can get 3 out of him, that's phenomenal. Yes. But like, you know, the back 4, really only Robinson, Matt Turner. Yeah. I mean, maybe I don't know enough about Matt Turner. Like, he doesn't play. So, like,
no, but and respectfully, I just set myself up. You don't watch Thursday football, so therefore, like, and I understand that.
How many?
All of them. You know, he just missed one. He just missed the Ramsdale one. He missed the. There's one that he missed, but he is every one that he played, we've won. Actually, every one that he's played, we've had a clean sheet.
I'm happy he went to a team that didn't make top 4. Then that way, he gets to play 3 to 4 times a year.
But we need him in the FA Cup, which will start our tournament. But he was fine though. Actually, I thought he had a solid tournament. I thought Matt Turner had a solid tournament.
He was okay, but like, I don't want the goalkeeper for my team that's supposedly going to be the one that makes the run to be the backup at Arsenal. That doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I'm just seconding Deion's thought that like every team has fire 20-year-olds. Like how old is, like I could just run through the teams of Cody's 22, 23. Julian Alvarez is 22, 23. Gabby's 12. You know what I'm saying? Like all these teams have young players. Jude's 19. Phil Foden's 22. Huh?
How old's Saka?
22, isn't he?
Are you telling me we got anybody like Jude and Saka? Bro, we don't even have a Sancho.
I even go to the teams that did make the World Cup. Like Moise Keane is like 23, and he's better than every American frontline.
Yeah, no arguments here.
But Balogun, though, if Balogun can,
if we get him, we may. Speaking of which, Arsenal may have to bring him back off a loan, call him back.
We will talk about that before this podcast.
Yeah,
if we get out of here without talking Gabby Jesus, you'll never see me.
Yeah, this is why I continue to preach, Deion, that we need to start an agency that naturalizes people. Like that is our whole job, is to just find these people, search through like U.S. military records. We track down these people.
I live in Indianapolis. We're the first city. Excuse me. Indianapolis is the first city to actually be an authorizer of charter schools. I am all for this. But if the system's not working, system's broken. We just put Haji Wright up top when it actually came to scoring a goal when the game was still in the balance. I'm in for breaking the system, naturalize whatever. Give Deion all he needs. What we need him? We need to give him what they call that stamp, notarize. Give Deion his notarizer license.
I'm a Klinsmann guy. What he did in and I know Julian Green didn't work. You just banged on the table. That's terrible for listeners. I want to apologize.
My bad, dog. Like I love Klinsmann though, personally.
But what he did with Julian Green, where he kept Julian Green on the roster instead of Donovan, which didn't allow Julian Green to change his mind and go play for Germany. And I know Julian Green like wound up stinking. Balogun, like that's what should have happened here. Like you kick Haji right to the curb and you're like, Balogun, you can play in the World Cup right now if you commit to us. And then you don't have to worry about anything. Now he's gonna watch England. If England beats France and goes on and wins this World Cup, bro, we're not getting that dude. We're not getting that dude. So it's like now you run the risk of him not committing. It sounds like he will, but like I'm a firm believer in that shit, bro. Like you don't have a chance to win. Bring on the young dudes and just Balogun probably could have started in this World Cup.
I just don't think because none of these teams are out here running out all natural born players. Well, except for maybe Argentina and Brazil, but hell, they were running out Diego Costa a couple years ago. But I mean, half of them rocking team Spanish for real. I'm just saying, like, we need to get, and maybe they need to change the rules because England colonized us. Maybe like all English players should be able to like switch sides or something.
Well, I was about to ask you, know how this dude Balogun is even English?
English or American?
How is he either? If you told me that dude was playing for France, that sounds more.
I was kind of confused myself. I mean, I saw Nketiah's about to go to Ghana, like he's about to declare there because he was played for U21s, U19, and U7.
Yeah.
U17
a week from Ghana.
Chill.
Oh, I do have one of these. As we're talking about these naturalizing and people having weird parents, the nastiest thing that happened that I've seen during the World Cup was the need of the commentators during the U.S. Dutch game to point out Memphis and Virgil's father situation.
Dog, wild behavior.
Awful. That shit was gross.
Wild behavior.
That shows. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Now that we're on the topic of those two, there's never been a person in Amsterdam that had the name Memphis ever. Memphis spends less time in Holland than anybody playing for a country in the World Cup.
No, I'd say Lukaku in Belgium would be my vote.
Yeah, Lukaku's close, and then whoever this Balogun kid is has probably never been to the States.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question in the chat: who would spend more time in America, Gigi Lofton or Serginho Dest?
Let's see. Here we go. No need to bring up my girl Margaret.
Other than Pulisic, bro, you telling me Musa be in the States? Come on. If you told me Musa don't even speak English, I'd be like, yeah, you probably right.
Right.
Arsenal target Musa, by the way.
We know Tim Weah be in America because his dad be everywhere else.
God.
Until about a week ago, I thought he played for Toronto FC. He looks like an MLS player. The way he moves.
The way y'all just Jake Shuttlesworth, my guy, Tim Way is wild behavior.
Yeah, we're talking shit about running out. They ran out Tim Ream. I looked it up. He's literally 2 months older than PK.
Yeah,
2 months younger than PK.
Tim Ream was probably like the second or third best player for the.
Not gonna lie, my boy Timmy Ream did his thing. Shout out to Molly Ream. I'm gonna send you the pod.
It was Jude, Matt Turner, Tim Ream. If I had to rank the top three players. Tim Ream is $1 million, and Matt Turner played his last game until February, a couple weeks ago.
Y'all are wild. That's crazy.
Meanwhile, Pulisic, when's the next time he's going to see a soccer pitch? June? When's preseason start?
Let's ask a question though, real quick. Right away, where should he go? Like in January? Yeah.
I think
Galaxy.
He should be deported.
Galaxy.
No,
I'm dead ass. Go to Leeds. With the rest of your guys.
Do you think because Messi's basically going to pick his own Inter Miami squad? If Pulisic was like, "Yo, I want to come," Messi says no, right? There's no shit.
Awful.
He's not even good enough to get a designated player.
He doesn't even respond.
Yeah, he's not good enough to get designated player for me. He'd just be another American.
No, seriously, Fulham, right? Fulham. He'd start in Fulham.
No. Was it one of you that said they should just turn Leeds into the All-American team? Or did someone else tell me that?
May have been.
That makes sense, though. If you just turn Leeds into, here's your American 11 and they play together in the EPL for 4 years, I think they would get demoted or relegated at some point. But, every American that can't play on their current team, Gio Reyna, Pulisic, and I know ML's about to list off all of Gio Reyna's injuries, but Musa.
Not today. Not today.
All these dudes that don't play for their club, just send them to Leeds. I say we just do that. And make Berhalter go over there, too.
They lose the City 9-0.
Holland
have a hat trick in the first. Jack Grealish would score on them.
Charles,
I hate.
The City would play the C squad that game.
That would be Jack Grealish.
Charles, you were a 2009 graduate, correct?
Yes.
You and Tim Ream were in the same class?
Yes.
St. Louis Billikens.
I mean,
Tim Ream.
That's gotta be a little humbling considering Tim Ream was just awesome in the World Cup.
Really, I guarantee you, I'm a better athlete than Tim Ream right now.
Well, listen, that's fair. I do want to say
that's getting clipped.
I just bashed
Boston, you know that to be true. Come on now.
National team. The people that are out there have have less high school accomplishments than me athletically. These are the
God.
First off, the fact Deion, that's the point. The fact that they went to high school. The fact that they went to high school is kind of the problem.
Fair.
I will say this:
these are bottom level athletes in this country. Like they truly are.
Can we speak on the fact that Alexi Lawless was fucking awful, and I'm just tired of listening?
Oh, the worst.
What drives me crazy is listening to Landon Donovan talk about how somebody else should finish the chance.
Oh my God, Landon Donovan, I can't stand.
Yeah, it drives me nuts that people think he would have scored that goal Wando missed. Like Wando was in better form than Landon going into that World Cup. Landon skies that shit too. They're both just
Alexi said something the other day. He was like, there's some kid in America, 16, 17. He's watching this. And I'm like, 16, 17. I'm like, Gabby's already 17.
Yeah, no,
like,
they need to be 6 months, 7 months.
Yeah, like you guys are missing the point here. Like if you're an American player and you had to go to high school, you're not that good.
Yeah. Landon Donovan, you want to talk about like a guy that was a fucking hype merchant?
Let's talk about his hairline, because that shit was the worst thing I've seen at the World Cup. That shit was where Lofton's headphones are right now.
If Landon Donovan was from any other country, we don't even know he exists.
No, not at all.
My Captain America was standing next to that. What's her name? What's the chick? Kelly Oko?
Oh, dog. We ain't gonna mess with my girl's name.
What's her name? I know I'd Mark Jackson it.
Oh no. Respectfully. Kate Abdo. Kate Abdo.
Bro, my Captain America has been standing next to her at midnight every day on Fox. Shout out my guy Clint Dempsey.
She is 40.
That's my Captain America too.
She is 41 years old. Lord have mercy.
Clint Dempsey was nice in England too. Like he wasn't.
I do want to point out
he wasn't playing around. Like he was nice everywhere.
Big Deuce.
Now fuck with Clint.
Yeah, that's my guy too. I will say though that when Weston comes to Tottenham, I will start to praise some American football players.
When Clint playing for Tottenham is what got me into Tottenham, which
fair.
I do have some beef with him because of what I deal with at 4 a.m. every Saturday, but like I get over it.
The only thing wrong with Kate is that she's a United fan.
I can get that. I don't give a fuck.
I can get that.
Was she a fan of?
She is of Guyanese descent through a maternal grandmother, married to a German businessman and investor. 2010.
Yeah.
She probably know Rio Ferdinand.
Let's relax. Can we not?
You said a German businessman?
An investor.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm sure.
But she in all types of Ponzi schemes with that wedding ring on, boy. Maybe not. Ain't no telling when she...
Okay, what's the other one's name? The other one bad too. The other homegirl.
Alex Scott?
I guess.
Arsenal? My girl?
Boy, I know they had to pay them a bag to go out there because they could make more money on the couch just posting pictures to IG than Fox.
I just really want to know. Like, my biggest question is like, how much money Morgan Freeman got to come play on that stage?
Oh, buddy. Oh, no. Okay.
Do y'all see the pictures Ocho Cinco posts every day of them like before every like Fox whatever the
recap? Yeah. Before the
Maurice Edu want to look like Maurice Edu wants to look like how Ronaldo looks during every picture. Like he's trying to look so good for whatever IG thought is on Ocho Cinco's page. I know it takes him 15 minutes to get ready for that picture. It takes him 2 to get ready for the show.
Lasting thoughts, Charles.
I'm in Costa Rica. I'm sweating my ass off. It is Charles Little Day in Cleveland, Tennessee. So it did hurt my heart to wake up and see my guy Lucho was gone. I still think he's one of the best managers in the world. I do think he's tactically, he got his tactics wrong, but I think that's more of a Spanish issue than his tactics. I think the Spanish philosophy is that they have to play that way. But I am excited to see where he goes next, because I do think, like, besides Zidane, he's the second best manager available right now. As I keep saying, I think he'd be a good guy to manage PSG in the future. Just due to his, I think, like I said, I keep saying the people part,
the main management
of managing the players, which I think PSG lacks more than anything. I think if there was ever, besides Zidane, if there was ever a person to be able to reach Mbappe, it would be Luis Enrique. But I don't want to, he failed. I don't see how he got fired and Hansi Flick got to keep his job, but we won't get to that.
Does Mbappe speak Spanish?
I'm sure he does.
I swear all I ever hear about him is he wants to go to Spain somewhere. He needs a Spanish coach. He needs Spanish players around him. This dude plays for France.
I don't think he plays for France. He plays for himself because he don't look interested in being a part. Like I was watching him the other day, and I just go, he needs to play golf. He needs to play like a solo sport because like team sports are not for him. Like he seems so disinterested in being a member of the team.
He couldn't handle a sport where he can't just run around and be faster than people.
But like I don't think he cares at all about the team.
No,
I think if he scored a hat trick in the final and they lost, I don't think he'd really care.
To be fair, I mean, this kid was 19 years old when he won a World Cup. Like, if you put me in Mbappe's shoes, I wouldn't even be in Qatar right now. Are you
and scored in the final.
No, he's fire, but I just don't think I just don't feel like he's like part like he does the camaraderie shit.
I feel like Neymar's grown into that though with age, and I'm an Mbappe hater, but I do think with age he'll grow into that. Did you guys watch Neymar's documentary, by the way, on Netflix?
No.
Bro, I need to catch up on Pogba and Neymar's docs.
I'm not watching Pogba.
I'm sure you do need to catch up on Pogba's doc.
There's an Argentina one I need to watch.
You know how you get with them midfielders that do questionable actions. But anyway. But anyway, Neymar said in his documentary he didn't even want to come to the World Cup. Like a Saudi prince told him he ain't got a choice.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not terribly happy about him passing Pele on international goals because I think it speaks him and Giroud both speaks to the fact that how many fucking friendlies there are in Conference League and all this other shit. So it's like completely skewed the numbers. But I mean, like I said, I just feel like when I watch, Lofton, you know this. I'm real big on like team dynamics and like body language and things of that nature. And like there are times when like Mbappe just seems like he's so disinterested in being a part of like the French team.
Yeah, I mean this is why they're not going to do anything in Champions League. And honestly, I mean they going home Saturday. It's cool. Like go rest up, dog. Get your holiday in. But it's a wrap.
Shit, I want the Tottenham players to go home. They've shown me all I need. Go sit down on the couch for a little.
I mean, if the Dutch lose and PSG lose, I mean not PSG and France lose, I mean all the Barca players are gone. So I mean I'm not gonna trip.
But I'm cool with all of them going home. Besides, the new R9.
I'm here.
Dog.
Love it.
We're out on that. We out.